Okay, his name is Che Moon-sok, and he's actually the director, but he's also doing art and different types in the game. Since it's an indie game, you know how it works. So he does different types of parts inside the game. So he does the development, art, but he is also the director of IfSunSets. My name, I'm Daniel Plus. I'm actually at the game Union team, which is like game handling, like that. So I do, like, for example, social media marketing mostly. That's why I'm wearing this. Yeah, different types of, like, I do the X postings, etc.
For those who don't know about IfSunSets, what is the game about? How did it sort of get conceived?
Very short, dual time zone. So if I want to have to explain it a little bit better, so we have actually two different types of modes. One mode is like the building mode you already tried out, where it's more like a survival game. You have to be on the island, find different items, craft something, craft a building, and actually prepare your defense for the night. And at night, you actually have waves of zombies or different types of enemies who will then try to attack you, and you have to defend and survive the night. That's why it's called IfSunSets. As soon as the sun sets, this island called Luminora will actually try to eat you alive.
There's been quite a few like survival crafting games, but I can't think of many that mix sort of pirate Caribbean elements with like zombie survival elements. What brought these two things together in this sort of marriage of genre?
So at first there was actually the survival aspect. They wanted to make a survival game. So first there was actually just a survivor. Then we were thinking about like water island pirates. So actually suddenly we were like, oh yeah, we want like a pirate in the game. That's something we actually think it's quite interesting and maybe not overused these days. And then what else do we like? Zombies. We like zombies. So then we started to add different types of things. So then there are also like the boss monsters, etc. So step by step, more different types of features came together, and that's how we started to make this big puree of different types of genres and put them together. So actually, the whole team actually was first starting off like as visual effects artists. So actually, the company is more into like creating different type of visual effects and different like arts. So the whole team was actually first into the arts, and then actually everyone who is developing the game teach themselves how to build a game. So that's how. So the design actually started, and then the gameplay, learning by doing, had to be done.
It's pretty clear, like from looking at the skill tree and the kind of weapons that you can craft, there's a lot of different ways to like sort of specialize yourself as you get your feet underneath you in the game. How did you decide on like kind of what weapon classes you would have, what skills the character would be able to unlock, the ferry, and like how did all that come together?
So about the ferry, the first idea they had, they were like thinking about Peter Pan, and they were like, so actually the ferry in Peter Pan, they were actually kind of, oh yeah, we like that idea that we have a tutorial, but not just in the text box. So they wanted to add the ferry for the tutorial part. And the second part is like, even he said like he's the director and everyone has their own title, but actually everyone just works together and everyone is allowed to give their own ideas. So they have like big meetings together, and then they decide like, hey, let's try this feature. And if they think it's feasible, they say like, okay, let's try it, and then we try it to put it together into one game, which makes at the end still some sense in its own world.
Out of curiosity, will you be able to play co-op multiplayer in this game with others?
So actually, yes, you will be able. As soon as we go into early access, we will have a co-op multiplayer with up to 4 people.
Some of the stuff we saw as I was playing, like there's elements of building, there's elements of fish. You mentioned that there would be fishing online. Can you speak a little bit to some of the extra stuff you can do? I saw a little bit of farming up there as well. Can you speak a little bit to some of the other activities, some of the other survival things, some of the other specializations you'll be able to do outside of combat?
So as you said, you saw some farming and also some fishing. So what you were not able to play yet was like we have also a cooking system, and it's actually also like as further you go into the game, you have like different recipes you can cook. And maybe one of the other biggest systems you were not able to play yet, and we are updating it even during the early access, is like shipbuilding mechanics, and also like to be able to go on the sea because you're a pirate.
Going back to sort of the not only just the night mode but also the bosses, pretty challenging. Like we saw a big old horde come at us right out of the gate, and it was a little difficult to survive. How difficult has it been for the team to sort of find the balance on making things challenging but not overwhelming?
So at first it was actually very hard for us to find the real balance, because survival games, which are actually normally not that easy, but also we wanted to give the players like a tutorial, like a way to understand the game before they die. So there was a big fight internally also, like they had a lot of meetings, like how should we do it? So right now we think that we found actually quite a good balance from the beginning. So as you saw already, there are like different spots you can respawn later in the game as soon as you go further. And also we will build in like different types of modes, like hard and easy mode. It's not yet into the game, but that's like how we try to improve it in the future. Additionally, he just wanted to say, what's for one person like a hard game, other people will say, yeah, it's way too easy for a survival game.
And finally, where can folks find out more about IfSunSets and get ready for the early access?
So actually we have a Twitter page. You can wishlist us on Steam, like IfSunSets, and you will find out more. And actually we are planning to start our early access at the second half of October.